Simerang Avsheni Ralocha Sanmanani Mulweni. My name is Nalini Fuller, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to the latest edition of the African Diaspora News channel, where we unravel the stories that shape our world and our communities. Now, I'm sure by now many of us have heard about the atrocious case involving LaDonna Crutchfield, who is a Black woman from Detroit who is wrongfully arrested due to faulty racial recognition technology. And honestly, after reading about it, I'm left with so much emotions and a deep concern about how this is happening to us once again. Now let's break it down. LaDonna, who is a mother of children, was in the comfort of her own home, minding her own business, when the police barged in, handcuffed her, and dragged her off to jail. All because of a faulty facial recognition match. Now, we're talking about a technology that was so off that it misidentified her as a suspect for an attempted murder charge. And the craziest part, the suspect they were looking for didn't even match her in height, in age, or any other physical feature that would logically tie her to this crime. And the only thing that seemed to match with her was her race and body type. And that's just messed up, because what's even more disturbing is how police relied on this biased and unreliable technology, which was shown to have a history of disproportionately misidentifying Black people, especially Black women. Because this is the same technology that is being used across the globe. And the way it targets us based on nothing but flawed assumptions is absolutely unacceptable.
This woman is suing the police after being unjustly arrested due to faulty facial recognition technology. LaDonna Crutchfield was at home with her children when police forcibly took her away in handcuffs, accusing her of being the prime suspect in an attempted murder case. She spent several hours in custody before the error was finally corrected, causing her immense distress and fear of losing her job as a caregiver. LaDonna differed significantly from the suspect. She is 5 inches shorter and several years younger, which should have been easily identifiable factors for the police. The woman believes that faulty facial recognition tech was involved because the police linked her to the investigation based on a partial license plate associated with an area where one of her relatives allegedly lived, leading them to mistakenly identify her. The police later admitted she was not the suspect, but claimed facial recognition was not used in her identification. Crutchfield's lawsuit highlights the emotional distress caused by her public arrest, especially in front of her children and neighbors. This incident is not isolated. In 2023, another Black woman, Portia Woodruff, was wrongfully arrested in connection with a carjacking while 8 months pregnant. Despite pleading with the police to verify her condition, they disregarded her claims and took her into custody.
January 23, 2024, Detroit police knock on LaDonna Crutchfield's door at her home on the west side. They ask her to step outside.
I'm trying to do this politically correct, okay? So you got to go to jail today, but I don't want to do this in front of the kids either.
Me?
Yeah, so hold on, calm down.
But I'm lost. What am I going to jail for? I ain't did nothing.
Basically, you have to go to court. You got to get to court and you didn't show up. I don't know if that lost him there or whatever, but essentially you have a warrant for your arrest. Yeah. And all that means is you have to come to court. So
but I never received anything. That's why I'm really lost.
An officer can be heard claiming there's a warrant for her arrest. They handcuff her and take her to the Detroit Detention Center.
I was very puzzled. Nobody can give me answers. I was just really hurt because I'm like, I try to do the right thing. I try to teach my children to do the right thing.
Ivan Land, Crutchfield's attorney, says it took more than 5 months for Detroit police to fulfill a public records request, and he questions what was redacted. An officer's report mentions the search of a database and green light camera video.
We believe it was some type of facial recognition. And the reason why, there was no investigation conducted. You just looked at a photo and said, it's her. You looked at someone's face and determined that it was them without doing any investigation. And then you send the troops out to arrest someone without a warrant. And then they lie to her and tell her they have a warrant. How low can you get?
They're suing the department for $10 million.
Now, the audacity of it all, right? The police had the nerve to show her photos of the suspect and basically said to her, and I quote, "You have to admit, it does look like you." And LaDonna's response, and I quote, "Why? Because I'm fat and Black like her?" And it's disgusting that 2025, we're still seen as mere stereotypes and our lives are being put at risk because of a system that cannot see beyond race and appearance. Because how is it that the facial recognition technology can't even get the basics right? How is it that this system continues to be used when we know it is flawed and biased? Let's talk about the emotional toil this took on LaDonna. And it wasn't just an inconvenience. This was a traumatic experience that put her through severe emotional distress. And for what? Because the police were relying on technology that can't tell a black woman from someone else based on facial features. And to make matters worse, she wasn't released until she agreed to give fingerprints and DNA sample. And why? Because her word didn't matter? Because she was black? Because they were more comfortable relying on technology that is clearly biased and faulty than on human logic. And let's be honest. This isn't just an isolated incident. This is a systemic issue where black people, and particularly black women, are unfairly targeted and mistreated. And this is a reflection of how the system continues to fail us. It's about the inherent racism built into so many of our systems, from the police to technologies they use. And it's high time that we demand accountability for the way that these systems treat us. Because this isn't just a case of someone being mistaken for a suspect. It's about the ongoing trauma caused by a world that sees us as expendable, that treats us like we don't matter, that refuses to acknowledge the harm caused by poor technology and bad policing. And I believe the bottom line is this: technology like facial recognition should never be used in such a careless and reckless way, because it has been proven to have biases against black faces. It has been proven to misidentify us, and it has not been trusted, especially when the stakes are at this high. I think that it's time to take a step back, acknowledge the harms of these technologies, and start dismantling the systems that perpetuate this injustice. And LaDonna is not just a victim of faulty machine, but she is a victim of a system that doesn't value her, and a system that treats black people like they're lesser than human beings. And personally, if you don't push back against this kind of treatment, I think that we're only allowing this kind of thing to continue. What are your thoughts on this? Please, let's continue the conversation in the comment section. And while you're at it, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up.